Hi, I'm here today to speak to Joy about Aligned with Joy. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you, Steve. And yourself?
I'm very well, thank you. Very interested in your business. Can you tell me how you get started in your background? Because I believe you're from a nursing background originally, is that right?
Yeah, over 40 years ago now, I'd like to think. So I started my nurse training in 1980, worked for 12 years, and then decided that I love my job, absolutely love my job, but also realized that there were people that needed help to look after themselves. A lot of patients would come in and they were advised to do something by the doctors, and those that did, we didn't see again, and those that didn't just kept coming back time and time again. And I'll be honest, I got a little bit frustrated with those people thinking, you've been given some advice, whether it's to stop smoking, stop drinking, lose weight, whatever it was. It was a lifestyle choice. And I just thought, I want to work with people that actually take the lifestyle advice and run with it, because those patients we didn't see in the hospital again. So I retrained, first of all, as a masseuse and aromatherapist. And so I qualified as an aromatherapist in 1993. And I then went straight on in 1994 to retrain at the McTimoney Chiropractic College, which is in Oxfordshire, and qualified from there in 1998.
Now, this McTimoney practice,
Mm-hmm.
that we posted about that in our group the other day, and it was one of the most well-received posts that we've actually put up there. Explain what the McTimoney adjustments or what the McTimoney method is and how it actually works and the type of people it helps, please.
Okay, so let's take you back to the sort of the ethos behind it. The ethos behind it is that if our spine is straight and our skull is straight, then the nervous tissue, which governs everything, our brain is in our head, the spinal cord is in the spine. So if that is straight, there is no pressure, there's no impingement, there's no stretching of the nerve tissue, and therefore we can express optimal health as long as we're eating wisely and exercising, doing all the other things. So it's not just about being in alignment, but for us, the ethos behind that is if you were aligned correctly or as best as you could, then the body can then express optimal health and not. So it covers absolutely everything.
What kind of ailments would people be presenting then who would come to you for a McTimoney? Would you call it a McTimoney session? Is that what you would call it?
Victiminy treatment, yeah.
McTimoney treatment. Okay. So what are they presenting with? What kind of ailments have they got? How long does it take? And let's get into the nitty gritty. How much does it cost as well?
Okay. We're not treating ailments. So it can be the majority of people, if I'm honest, the majority of people will come because they've got back pain and, headaches, shoulder tension, that type of thing. That is what tends to bring people to me. Once they're here and you explain to them that your structure governs your function, then they understand that a whole host of other things will improve. I'll give you an example for somebody that I saw years and years and years ago. He was a young family man, and it was a joke that he could not hold his beer. He could hold his beer. You know what I'm saying? So when I explained to him that his bladder sat in his pelvis, and because his pelvis was not level, therefore his bladder, if you think of the bladder as like a balloon that fills up with water, because his bladder wasn't sitting straight, well, it was sitting straight in his pelvis, but as it filled up with urine, it would trigger points earlier than if his pelvis was straight. So when you straighten the pelvis, his bladder problems went away.
So you're adjusting him. I mean, actually, I'm finding myself adjusting myself, and see, I've got a bad habit of sort of leaning this way, and I feel it. I feel it building up in my back. So even talking about it, I suppose, talking about your posture as a health treatment. Now, do you actually treat them? Is there any hands-on treatment there, or is it?
Oh yes, it's absolutely hands-on.
Yep. And
Absolutely hands-on.
and would you look at them and you would see misalignment straight away?
Sometimes if they're big enough, then you can see it in people's shoulders. Some people might have shoulders that do like that, or they look like that. If they're gross and they're visual, then yes, I can see them. You from now on will probably start looking at people's belt lines, because a belt line will sit on the pelvis. So if you look at a man from the back, you can see if his belt is sort of sitting like that or whether it sits straight.
Right. Well, so that's one of your main treatments there. And now this CST.
Right, so that's cranial sacral therapy. So I will integrate that. So if you think of the body as being like a tent, okay, so the McTimony gets the big solid poles up, okay. So if they're slightly over, I'm putting those upright. Cranial sacral therapy then looks at the soft tissue. So it's looking at like the tarpaulin and the guy ropes. So even if somebody, so it doesn't matter what somebody comes with me with, whatever their complaint is, I will first look at them McTimony wise to get those poles up, to get the solid structure up, and then work with the cranial sacral therapy to look at is the tissue actually holding it tight. And sometimes you have to sort of flip between the two, because sometimes, you know, metaphorically, I will loosen off a guy rope and then you can put the poles back up, because you might not have got them up completely because one of the guy ropes was tight. Yeah, does that make sense? The other
Yeah,
thing,
it's a great analogy actually. What does up ledger mean in that context then?
right? So McTimony and Upledger both happen to be called John, and John McTimony developed the McTimony technique that I do, and John Upledger developed the cranial sacral therapy that I do, because there are lots of cranial sacral therapies.
Okay, and that's a particular type that you believe works best, and you've studied and specialise in.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I specialise. I integrate it.
Okay.
You know, every day's a school day. I'm still learning.
Yeah. No, that's good. And the other area of your expertise, which I know you're a big fan of, and I'm a big fan of myself, is aromatherapy. Can you chat a bit about that and the particular brands that you use and how you bring that into your practice?
How long have we got? I've been using a particular brand called Amphora Aromatics ever since I qualified in 1993. They sell mainly to the trade. I mean, you can buy them online, but they sell mainly to the therapists that are then using them. That, you know, they're not fancy bottles or anything. So that's the brand I use. That's the brand that I sell on. I am a distributor, stockist of them to sell on for Amphora Aromatics. You know, they're not, it's just me. I get them direct from Amphora and I sell them on. So I don't have an up team, a down team, or anybody else. That's the brand. As I say, I've used them since 1993 and I'm very happy with them. So I was just chatting to my husband the other day, actually, and saying, you know, I probably use about 5 oils a day. I use them in my shampoo. I use them in my shower gel. I've already meditated before I have the shower. And then in the evening, lavender there, I will, you know, use lavender if I can't sleep. At the moment, if I can't sleep or if my head's buzzing, I will go and find an oil. I mean, at the moment, I have got behind me, you can see this nice light going on. There's basil in there to help my brain, so I don't go into brain freeze. You know, I've picked the oils to go in there because I want to be alert, I want to be bright, and so that's the oils. But tonight I would use something else that would help, not sedate me, but, you know, to help me sleep. So aromatherapy is quite complicated, but it's quite simple. You can use the oils, so there's top notes. There's top notes which tend to be stimulating, and there's base notes which tend to be base, and then there's middle notes in between. So when you make a blend up, and the idea is you blend the oils, is that you will have a top, middle, and base note in your blend. But if you're using your blend in the morning, you would have more top because they're stimulating. And if you use the blend in the evening, you'd put more sedating ones, because you are probably going to go to sleep. So if you were to use peppermint's a really, really good wake me up. I mean, I've always got some in my bag.
Yeah.
I'll just take the top off and sniff. Yeah, as a wake me up.
Yeah, it's good. And in that respect, I mean, it lasts forever, doesn't it? I mean, it lasts a long, long time.
Oh, yeah, a 10 ml bottle will last. I mean, I've got 10 ml bottles that I've had literally years, probably since 1993.
That's amazing value. And again, you can guide people on. And again, we could talk for a long time, Joy, but we've only got so much time. So what I'm going to say to people is visit Joy's page, visit alignedwithjoy.com, get in touch with Joy, make an appointment, find out more about the services, and I think you'll be very, very pleased with the results, because it's everybody's looking for something now, Joy. You know, there's the challenges that people face are absolutely huge in this world at the moment,
Yeah.
and to be able to connect with somebody like yourself with your experience and just have that one-on-one treatment that they're really looking for is the missing link for a lot of people. It could be the thing that's needed just to pull their whole life around, all the different woes and aches and pains that they've
Yeah.
got. It could be all posture related. And some of the, I mean, as I said, even just sitting talking to you, I'm thinking about my posture. I know it's a real thing. I know I've got bad posture. I sit in front of this computer all day.
Yeah,
You
but
know.
your posture is reflecting your spine, your solid structure of your tent, if you like.
Hmm.
So when people talk to me, they're thinking, "Oh, I'm going to sit up straight." But because their spine is slightly bent, what will happen as they talk to me is they'll just start and they'll prop themselves up. You know, an elbow will go on the side of a chair and they'll prop themselves up. Or if they're forward, they'll sort of, they'll do that because they're supporting themselves. Their innate is saying, you're not straight, so just put your elbow there and support yourself. So that's what people do. When you straighten them up, then they stop doing that because they're actually then sitting down through and their spine is straight. So you can't actually do anything about it until
It's the hands-on stuff there that corrects. Yeah, so I can't change. Yeah. Okay. So what I would say to people is visit the website, Aligned with Joy, get in touch, get a treatment, see how it goes for you, get some essential oils, get some advice on that, and begin a little journey. These are interesting things that don't cost a fortune, and it's exciting, the project of making yourself better and healing yourself.
Steve, it absolutely is a journey. And as I say,
Yeah.
I've been using aromatherapy for 30 years. And I'm now on a different journey because I've used them for physical. Yes, I've meditated with them, but I'm now focusing and meditating. I've done it for groups that have come to me, groups of half a dozen of people. I'm now taking that online to reach more people because I think people are desperate for spiritual development, soul development. And so I'm just about to launch a course in the new year because everybody starts new things in the new year. And it's like, once a month you'll be introduced to a new oil for spiritual development, soul development. And they're not all biblical oils, but a lot of them, are in the Bible. The frankincense, the myrrh, spikenard, myrtle, they are biblical. People quite often sort of say, "Oh, it's New Age." It's like, no, these things have been around for thousands and thousands of years. So
Amazing.
if anybody's interested, please.
Well, keep me posted on that, and we'll make sure that we post about that and keep people up to date. But listen, Joy, thank you very much for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much.